If you can give me a few minutes, I need to set up a few things.
Sure, sure. No problem. And we are live. Yeah. Hello, Simon.
Hi,
Yeah.
hello
How you
everyone.
doing?
I'm doing good. Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah. So Simon, we met, I think, 2 to 3 months back in Ticket, right? So
Yeah.
we connected, I think, at the section near to the developer's garage, right? You were just sitting beside me, and we were trying to solve some ABAP or CP. I think you were working on some Node cafe or something, right? You were trying to solve that
It was
puzzle.
ABAP Cloud, I think. It
Uh-huh. ABAP Cloud.
was
Okay.
setting up your BTP account and doing an exercise, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay. So reminding those things. So how was those 2 days to you?
Actually, pretty interesting. I think a lot to learn, a lot of new stuff that I had never seen in action. Pretty cool. I like the live demos. I like seeing things in
Mm-hmm.
action.
Okay, so you were visiting that place or Bangalore or India for the first time, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so you visited with a group or something like that.
yeah. We got to Bangalore with a few colleagues, and yeah, we just stayed for TechEd, but we also got a few extra days to visit around the city.
Okay, great, great. So it is to the visitors or to the community. Simon actually has been contributing for quite a long. He's developing several applications. Some of them are open source as well, and he's very profound in Node.js, TRMs, and all those stuffs. So Simon, it's over to you. So what do you work with and how long you have been working? Can you please quickly brief about that?
So a few months ago, it's not actually that long since I published my first open source project, but it's something that has been in the work for a while now. It started out as an internal project for my company. We needed a solution for easy transport of packages, and all of the other solutions that we saw didn't really fit our requirements. So I started developing this application, which I then got in contact with a few people from another open source project, which is ABAPKit, and we said why not try publishing our first open source project. So and help the community as well. So we tried, and it's now live.
Okay. So previously, means prior to this ABAP area, have you means contributed on those sections like in Node.js and all? You were an easy contributor to open source, or you were a frequent contributor to the open source, or it's something what you've taken up
No, it's
only
first
for
time.
this, the first time. Okay,
First
great,
time, yeah,
great, great,
first
great to
time.
hear that. So this TRM, so I was just looking into your blogs. So quite a say a couple of months I was going through that. I found that thing too much is very interesting. And can you please explain us? See, like we do not know about those technologies. See, for coming from an ABAP background, okay. So we do know transports, okay. That's all. So we create an object, we log into TR, and we move it to the next landscape. So that's the general thing what we do. So how do you think that those things are coming up? Means your TRM plus or TRM modules are adding that. Means what is the change it's going to come or it's going to bring?
Well, the basic idea behind TRM was to make ABAP feel a little bit more like a modern day programming language. Surely it's with the new releases of ABAP, the syntax itself it's a little bit more modern, I would say. But coming from my background of Node.js and Java, so nothing like ABAP, I found myself a little bit lost trying to learn ABAP because it just felt super outdated to me, and I needed, the more I learned, the more I was like, yeah, it's not that different from the other languages, but I knew that I wanted an experience that was somewhat similar to a modern day language. And Node.js with NPM, it's super easy to do the tasks that we used to do and we still do in our company. And with ABAP, it was just kind of a nightmare. So I did this project to make it feel like I'm writing a Node.js package, but it's ABAP.
Okay, so it's good to know that a person who knows Node.js also is coming to ABAP field and finding that thing interesting. It is really good or really cool to see such means persons are coming up so like you. So one question, okay, it's an do not take it personal. If somebody asks you ABAP or Node.js, what do you choose?
Node.js.
Oh,
Node.js.
okay, okay, good to hear that. Before we jump into the actual things where we will be diving deep to the particular specs and all. This session we are keeping it a bit formal. Okay, we will go through the topics whatever we have to discuss, means whatever you have to demo, and also we have some open questions. We can ask those questions to you, and at later stage we will conclude with the modern day ABAPers, what they have to learn, what are the niche skills they need to focus on for their futures, and as well as how people can find those things interesting. You know that there are several people who have learned ABAP for say 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, right? So in this modern technological evolutions, when it happened with CAPM, Node.js and all, how they find relevant and up to the market, right? So that part we also touch base on. Okay. Having said that, Simon, the ground is yours. Please.
Okay, let me see if I can do this. I think it's not this one. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now.
Sure, sure.
This one. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, we can. We can.
All right, so I got a few slides to help me guide.
Mhm.
Um, First of all, how it started, and we already said it. We met at the Tech Ed, and well, we already met. We already talked about a little bit about the Tech Ed, so I'm not going to go. I'm not going to talk about it
So
again.
just a question. So this part, this section, this picture, right at the left. Whenever
Yeah.
it was the person you came along with, right? So though everybody is your colleague, right? And you took a chance, you took a time to take out this picture in front of ticket. Oh, what was
Yeah.
the day? It was the first day or the second day?
This, I don't even think it was a day of the tech ed. I think this was the day before. Yeah, this was taken before the first day.
So what happened is that every time I thought of taking the picture, everybody was there, and literally we had to wait along, and
Yeah,
that's
that's why it's empty. It's empty because it wasn't
yeah.
a day tech ed. We got there to get our what is it? The passes, the badges.
Badges, badges. Yeah.
And on the second picture is a
Hmm.
picture that we took when we hosted in our headquarters here in Italy, Brescia.
Okay.
We hosted a code jam with DJ Adams, and that's the first time TRM was shown to somebody outside of our company.
Okay. DJ Adams, can you zoom in? Where is he sitting? I cannot find him over there.
He's taking a picture.
Oh.
This is taken from his
Yeah,
blog.
yeah. Yeah, DJ
This is
Adams. Yeah, he's cool with the pictures, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
No, this is taken from his blog, and there's actually um, a small paragraph about TRM, but it wasn't
Okay.
developed yet. It didn't even have a name back then, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So this is what I was talking about earlier, which is make ABAP feel like Node.js, and this is the graphics that my team did, and yeah, there's a whole bunch of documentation about TRM at this address right here. But it's a CLI tool, so you can see that right here. If you're familiar a little bit with Node.js, you can tell what this is going to do. TRM install. It's similar to npm install, and we're gonna see some comments. But the demo of today, it's a little bit different because we're going to see how to make a CI/CD with TRM and other open source projects. So the idea is we have a branch on main where the code is always updated and tested, and we have branches, and they're going to merge into main. And of course, they need to pass a few tests before getting into main. And ideally, we also want to automatically deploy our code from main into one or more target systems. So the main component of TRM is the Node RFC module. And this is something that was developed by SAP. And there's a porting for Node. It's called Node RFC, and you can check it out at this link. And basically, it's a library that allows you to connect to a system and use RFC function modules. This is how Node.js is able to communicate with your SAP system. And of course, you could use REST APIs or whatever else you want, but RFC, I think it's the easiest protocol for anybody who's worked with SAP systems before. And I said that we're going to use a few other open source projects, and this is the projects. The first one is ADASH, which is another CLI software. It's also Node.js software, so this is another example of how Node.js and ABAP can be used together. And ADASH, it's a CLI tool that allows you to execute ABAP unit tests. The second one is ABAP and we're going to use this to check the syntax of our code and make sure that we're going to set up a few parameters, and they need to be respected in order to merge into main. And the third project is probably the most known open source project about ABAP. It's ABAP Git. So we're going to use that to serialize and have a repository of our package. So I can get started with the demo if we're all good.
Yes, yes, sure. We are here to see that.
Okay, so the first thing I did was create this GitHub repository. So it's called the demo TRM SCK, stands for SAP Community Kolkata.
Good, good.
And the setup, like I said in this here, um, we have a central development system. In this case, it's called RGH, and a customer development system, which is called RST. So the first thing I'm going to do is connect to RGH. This is using ADT.
Yeah, yeah.
And on RGH, I already have installed the TRM, which there's, again, I'm going to show the documentation real quick. There's a whole bunch of documents that allows you, that guides you to installing TRM
Mm-hmm.
if you want to follow them. So I already installed TRM on RGH, which is the central development system, and I'm going to create a new package, GH, and I already have the code ready here. So let's build a new package, and I'm going to call this leap SCK. This is an example. Let's say that we're developing a library on our central development system. So all the things we all know, transfer layer and software component. I'm going to create a transfer for this. Oh wait, it's RGH. I'm creating it right. Wait. I think let's call it another way. Let's go like this. I think I locked the object on another transport. You know, the problem of ABAP. So there you go. So now we made a package. It's called library SCK. Let's add it to our favorites. And in this, so let's pretend that this package contains a library, and we want this library shared with a few of our customers, for example. So we can make whatever objects we want. In this case, I'm just going to create a simple class with a few tests, with one test actually, not even a few. So this is the class, and this is the code. You can see that I already made this earlier, and there's simply just one method inside of it, and it's called sum. I give two parameters, which is two integers, and I'm going to return a result, which is value 1 plus value 2. And I'm also going to make a test class, which is right here on the ADT. And this test class, it just has one method, and it's simply going to test that the method that we created earlier, so sum. Now, notice that I already made two comments, and the first one is saying that ABAP Clean will tell us something is wrong with this line, And I'm going to show that in a second and why it's telling us that something's wrong with this line. The second one, it's about a test that is broken. You can see that this one is saying that 1 plus 1 equals 1, which is wrong. We know it's wrong. In fact, if we go to run as unit test, even the ADT will tell us that expected to actual 1. So we're going to test that A dash does the same thing. And about the ABAP length error that I'm saying here, ABAP length, you basically make a config file here, and you define a set of rules. And I have this rule right here, which is space before dot. This one, set to 2. So basically, if I ever end a method or whatever with a dot, and I have a space before, everything will tell us that this line has a problem. So we're going to test that out too.
So this is then basic or predefined rule by the ABAP lint.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's documentation for that one too. Uh, a
ABA.
Lint. This is the project. This is not my project, but
Yeah.
you can go to rules.abaplink.org, and there's a whole bunch of rules about
So
ABAP.
not only coding, I think best practices it's also covers, right?
What?
What I'm saying is like not only coding standards, it's also gives us best practices as well.
Yeah.
Best practices. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so let's now use ABAP-Git to make a repo. So make our first commit on this repo. So you can check out ABAP-Git if you haven't seen it already. We're just going to create a repository out of this. So I'm not going to go through the details, but basically I'm telling it what the repo URL is, what's the package, and I'm going to create the repo. Another thing I'm going to use is setting a version of our package. So in this case, it's a constant that I'm exposing right here. So it's this class, this variable. So it's so I can go here in settings, go into version constant, and it's version. And if I save, it should pick it up correctly. Yeah, 100, which is the value I have here.
Yeah.
So we can make our first commit, and I'm going to add all. Let's make a comment. Email. And I'm actually going to create a new branch, because if we look back at the branching strategy we set up, we have the main branch, which is locked. I'm not even able to push anything into it. All I need to do is create a new branch, and then through a pull request, I'm able to merge it into main. So I can call this leave-at, for example. So now if we go back to our repository, we can see that we have a new branch called ABAP. And if we make a pull request from ABAP to main, like shown here, pull request, we can see that there's already a few things failing. So let's reload this while we wait for the other checks to run. So let's give a little bit of context to everybody. With GitHub, you can set up whatever workflow you want. And in this case, there's 4 workflows in this repository. And there's 2 of them that start during pull request on the branch. So this one will check that the version that I defined in this class, so this one, it's going to check that it's greater than the latest version that I published on TRM. And in this case, this package was never published on TRM. I just created it, so it's obviously it's going to be okay. The second one is the unit test. So theoretically, it should run this unit test that I created earlier, and it's going to tell me that there's something wrong and I cannot merge into main. And in fact, if we go back to the pull request that we just made, we can see that the unit test is failing. We can have details about it. So if you go here, oh, actually, I need to change something actually, because the package I made earlier did not work. So it's actually, and there's going to be full explanation of this variables in the upcoming blog post that I'm going to create. So right now I'm just showing it without really going into detail, but there's going to be full explanation about all of this.
Yeah, yeah.
So actually close this one and make a new one so I can show the error in detail. Okay, so now it's running again. As you can see on GitHub, we're seeing that this class, this unit test that we made, it's giving us an error. So it's expected that the method sum with 1 plus 1 gives us 2, and instead it gives us 1. And other things that are blocking the pull request, it's ableint, like we said earlier. There's actually another one that there's two
Spacing
spaces
between.
here.
Yeah.
This indentation problem.
Mhm.
So we can, which one is it? It's a private section. Not here, but uh, it's actually here. So this one, I think.
But I think
Or we can do
clear.
something like
Yeah.
this if we want. We can just use the
Mhm.
comment suggestion. So we can do this.
Okay, so tell me one thing. So right now we do review processes and all, right? So even though we do some coding changes, we have to adapt how the code is it, right? So on those sections, if we can also give some exceptions, right? To that particular block that we have to deal with that thing. It cannot be avoided as well, right? So we can place a comment here.
The last thing you said. Sorry.
Yeah. So am I audible now, Simon?
Yeah. Okay. If you can repeat the last part you said.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like, say, similar to this, if you want to proceed with this particular error, okay, this is whatever the Git job is showing you, right? So we can write some comments and then we can proceed further as well, right?
Yeah. I'm just going to fix these problems because this is indentation problems. But
Hmm.
in a while, I should also get the um, this is all indentation problems, which is
Yeah.
not fixing me right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, ABAPLint is done for this, so obviously it's checking the syntax and it's working well, as you can see.
Hmm.
It's doing it one at a time, but it is working.
Yeah, yeah. Great. So I do remember that this type of thing I used to do in Python. Okay, I used to do it in
Yeah.
Node.js. It is very new to see that ABAP code is being done in this way, right? We
Oh
are
yeah.
pushing the
Sure.
code in Git and going through all those compilations, and we are doing the code review and all in these jobs and all. So tell me one thing. So right now, if we deploy this one, so first of all, we need that TRM packages and as well as all the dependencies. So the TRM package does come with all those dependencies altogether, or we need to explicitly around
Um,
those
which dependencies are you talking about?
dependencies, talking about like ABAP lint and
Wavelength, it's separate projects. They are, but they work. I think that they work well together, as you can see right now. Well, you will see later on what happens. Uh, but no, they don't work together. So they work together, but they don't come together. You know,
okay, okay, okay.
it's their own thing together.
So in the documentation, whatever you were mentioning, so those libraries has to be installed by default. Sorry, explicitly we need to
They're
install those libraries, right?
they're not dependencies. They're not dependencies. So you can decide if you want, you can use ABAP by itself or TRM by itself or ABAP by itself.
Okay,
I just think that using them in a certain way will
okay,
improve your developing experience. Okay, so we finally got to the part where that I wanted, and you can tell that it's saying that there's a problem right here,
yeah,
which is remove the space before the dot. So this is the error that I wanted to show you, besides
yes,
all the
yes,
indentation problems that we have.
yeah.
Um, well, the first thing I want to do is, first of all, pull the differences because now we changed the class, as you can tell. So I'm going to pull this. So right now, I basically what I did was fix the ABAP errors that I got, and when you fix them through the GitHub UI, you're just fixing them on GitHub, so you're not at the same time fixing them on your system. Now that I made the pull, you can tell that the indentation problems are gone right here. So now let's fix the error that I showed earlier. So this one, we're just going to remove this. So space before dot. And the second thing we want to fix is this one. So 1 plus 1 equals 2.
Okay, yeah.
So now our unit test is going to work. It's green. We can commit everything, refresh, and stage. Fixes, make a comment. I'm going to go back here. And now you can tell that this one is outdated and ABAP says successful. Also, if we go to the unit tests, we can see pass.
Yeah.
So right now we're all good to make our merge to main. We can see that checks have all passed. And now if I make this commit, what's going to happen is I'm going to have two workflows starting. Well, one and then another one. And the first one is publish. This is the TRM part. Basically, when I make a push into the main branch, which is protected and only you can only make pushes through a pull request, what I'm going to do is create a TRM package. So let's see what TRM is. I'm actually going to pull it up right now. And TRM, again, is a CLI software. So if I just type TRM, I'm going to see
So it's based upon NPM libraries.
it's an npm project, but it's supposed to mimic npm with ABAP. Obviously, there's some limitations with SAP systems, so not everything can be achieved. But ideally, you can see you have install, publish, and other comments that are useful. For example, if I go TRM list, this comment will show us all the TRM packages that we have installed into our system. So now I'm connecting to RGH, for example, which is following our scheme, the central development system. This is RGH. It's connecting and it's reading the packages, and you can tell that I already installed a few packages on RGH, which is a low word, dependency dependent, and obviously TRM server. I can do the same thing on other systems.
It is really strange to see this.
Yeah, I can tell. I can,
Yeah.
but you know, if you're used to Node.js, or if you're
Yeah,
getting into Node.js, I think this is pretty cool tool to learn.
definitely.
Um, so RST, which is our target system, has a few more packages than RGH. And yeah, you can just play around with the comments. You can see the list right here. It's pretty cool. So what I'm going to do right now with the workflow is basically run the command trm publish, and I'm going to call this package. I think, what is it? I called it demo trm sck. So this is the name of the package. So basically, I'm going to run demo um, trm sck. This is what the comment that it's being executed in this workflow. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna let the workflow do it. The other workflow is going to activate when TRM packages are created. So in this case, you can see published, and I'm basically going to it's called distribute release, and I'm basically going to execute the install command for the target system. So in this case, is RST. So let's just check again, and we can see that RST, which is this. These are the packages on RST, and you can tell that there isn't the demo TRM SDK. In fact, I can go on RST right here and check for the package. You can tell there's no results. This package does not exist. And let's see if everything goes well. So I'm going to merge, confirm. Yeah, it's going to take a while, but this is going to publish the release, and we can follow this while it's doing its thing.
I think it takes how much time? It goes to the TRM server, and from there it checks for whatever the source server is, and then it push the code, right?
Well, it takes, depending on the package size. Well,
Hmm.
this just contains an object, so it shouldn't take much. But basically, you're generating it. It uses again, like I said earlier, the RFC SDK to connect to your development system and use some APIs, CTS APIs. So basically, it's going to create a transfer request, packing everything together, and downloading this transfer request, and putting it into a registry. In this case, I'm using the public registry, but you could use whatever registry you want if you have the time to check out the documentation and set up your own registry.
Yeah, and
But
when
here,
it comes to the organization, they are not supposed to use the public registry, right? So they or Git repo, right? So they are actually keen to go by their own repo and own repository, right? So those authentications details also can be handled through TRM, I guess.
can be ended.
What I'm saying is like say for say we are not developing for an open source project. I've created a class that I want to deploy to a specific customer. Okay, so
Yeah.
for that we the Git repo and the credentials of that particular server, those are managed through TRM library or through TRM CLI, or how that config works.
Well, if you're not developing an open source project, or for whatever reason you want your package to be not public, so private, well, the registry also allows you to publish private packages, because there's a authentication in that registry too. So you can choose if you want your package to be public or private. And GitHub, same thing. You can decide if your repo is public or private. But obviously, I can understand that for some reason or another, you're not going to publish on the public repo registry, and you can go here and check out the documentation for what you need to do in order to make your own implementation. You can see it here.
Mhm.
But
Definitely.
right now, the package is published, and I'm going through the log again because it's pretty interesting. It's telling us that it's the first time we're publishing demo TRM SDK, obviously. Here it's searching for dependencies of the package, and in this case, there are no dependencies, because TRM allows you to declare dependencies and basically, again, work like Node.js. So install dependencies first, and then the final package. Here it's doing some CTS, and then it's telling us that the package is published. In fact, if I open up my email, just a second, it's right here. You can tell that on the email we have a new version of the package published.
Yeah, yeah.
And another thing that I can show you is that on, what is it, RGH, right here. Here's the those two actually, not the other ones. Let's go, so we don't make any confusion. Those are the transfers that were generated through TRM. So this is all done automatically. Now there's a second workflow that it's starting, and I don't know if, no, not this one. What is it? Here. Yeah, distribute release. It's already finished. And this is the TRM install on our target system, which is RST in this case, like I said, right here. So let's pretend that this is a customer of ours, and we made a new version of a library. Right here, it's distributing the latest release. So it's connecting, it's checking if I need to update or install, whatever. And again, pretty similar to what we saw earlier. And in fact, if I go now to RST, let me check right here. Yep, here it is. You can tell this is RST. This is the transfer that was automatically imported. And in fact, if I go back and do the check that I did earlier, so this, you can tell that now we have the library right here on RST.
Yeah.
With the sample class. So RGH,
Wow.
RST.
It's
And the
really great.
last thing we can do is TRM this on RST. And now we can see that we have the package compared to before. The cool thing about this is that I can make a new transfer right now, and if RST, let's say I have a test system connected, the landscape is development, test, and production. The cool thing is that I can move from RST to our test system, and the test system doesn't need TRM server installed, so it doesn't need anything extra, and I'm still able to see the package on the test system, even if TRM is not installed. The cool thing you can do with this is that TRM compare, and I'm able to compare what version I have on the system. So for example, I can compare RGH with RC, and just for fun, let's try S4H, which is another system that doesn't even have this package installed. Now it's going to read. You can tell that RGH and RST both have the package installed, and it's telling us that the latest version is 1.0.0. So those are up to date, and S4H, which is another system, doesn't have the package installed. So yeah, that's everything, basically.
It was really, it was awesome to see these kinds of stuffs where we used to see in Node.js and all. It's really great achievement, I think, Simon. It's really awesome that it's already been published right now. I think people can also go ahead as it's open source, as any kind of
Yeah, they
developer
can
have open
see
source. Yeah, yeah,
they can see everything that is behind the code of everything is open source. So
Okay.
They can go they can make changes if they want.
Okay, okay. So, I just keen to know about one thing. The last section, whenever you told, is like it doesn't depend upon the target system, right? So you just need to install the same packages and stuffs inside your source, and from there you use, I mean, so you can publish it to the target system. Is it right, Simon?
Yeah,
Yeah. So in target
yeah.
system, credentials and
Technically,
everything, where it is handled then?
no, sorry, you can finish.
Yeah, so what I was asking is the target system credentials and all, where it is, means where you are keeping that those secret details, server details and that credentials and all.
I'm not sure I understand that correctly. What I was trying to say is that
Mhm, mhm.
basically you have one system where you make the development, and it doesn't matter the landscape. So, for example, if you wanted to see this class, you can install it yourself with the TRM command that I showed you earlier.
Mhm.
So they don't have to be connected, if that's what you're asking.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So, and also I am actually keen to know about, say, for the server connectivity, right? You have some, say, the target server. It is connected to the Git. That's my question
Oh,
actually.
oh, and that is also going to be explained on my next blog, and
Okay.
it's a GitHub feature. Basically, I'm not exposing anything to Git.
Mhm.
What Git allows you to do for workflows is set up your own runner, and a runner is you have an environment where the workflow is going to be running on. So you can make a private runner on whatever system you have, on whatever machine you have in your company, for example, and it's going to it's a daemon. I think it's whatever, however you want to call it. It's a daemon, and basically your machine is going to pick up the job because you asked for a specific runner,
Okay.
and whatever connections you have on or resources you have on that machine, Git can access them. But it's not really Git that it's accessing the resources, but it's more like you're running whatever you want on your machine. So that's why I'm able to connect to my system through GitHub.
Okay, it's really awesome to see again, Miss. Like as I was mentioned. So tell me one thing. So you have this TRM repo, right? So the TRM repo has been managed by some place, some server somewhere. The actual
Uh,
TRM repo.
the TRM repo is managed by some server.
Means the TRM repo is hosted in some server, I guess. So can you please pull up the diagram, whatever you were showing for the first
Yeah,
in the documentation? Yeah.
yeah. Hold up a second. This one.
Yeah. No, no, not this one. I was talking about the actual vlog.
Oh, okay. Wait.
And obviously, I have seen very nice pictures, right? A convert belt, you are releasing that. It's an awesome
Yeah,
picture.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So from here, if you go back, I think I have also I do have it.
Oh, probably you're asking about the registry,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. The
Is that
TRM
what you're
server,
asking?
right, right.
Yeah, hold up a second. It's this one. It's right here. So it's trmregistry.com. And this is the demo package that we published. Is
Mhm.
that what you're asking?
Yes, yes. And also, I just want to share my screen. 1 second. It's fine, right? So I don't know whether I can share it or not. Or I can share. Yeah, this one. Share. I really think that these images are really good. Okay. So
Yeah,
here,
it's the job of a colleague of mine. Yeah, it's really good.
yeah. So as a whole, so you say that
Okay.
ECC persons can implement this S4 it can be supported by S4. So you want to talk about this page or this image
Yeah,
once again?
basically, to work, you need, I'm saying ECCS for on-premise, you need a system that allows us to use the CTS APIs. So cloud right now is not an option, but that's a whole different story. I don't even know if we would need this for cloud. So what happens is the lines that you're seeing, it's basically saying that the server package, which is TRM package, but it's just an ABAP package, but it's a way of referring to it as something that you can pull from the registry, is on your system, on your development system. And ideally, you would have a centralized development system to do all your work, or all work that needs to be on TRM. So, for example, if you're making a library, it's probably going to be shared with many of your customers. That's at least the use that we have in our company. You're making a library. It's used between a lot of your customers. So you make all developments on your central development system, and that's where you have TRM server. Um, and you can see that it's connecting with RFC with the SDK. It's calling the function modules on the TRM client, which is Node.js, and checking the transport with another program which is called the R3 Trans. That's another open source project that I have, and publishing the transfer request to the registry. That's basically what this scheme is saying.
Yeah, it's like the means we just given a exact diagram what this theorem talks about, right? What this theorem is about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will let me go back to our main video. So, for my understanding, what I understood, it's an IaaS, means infrastructure as a service tool, I can say, TRM. So, if I want to manage my code, not infrastructure, but I can say manage code. I'm sorry that I'm saying infrastructure, but how I can manage my code to that particular servers, right? So it's a very good tool or new tool, I think, niche tool, what you have contributed to, and it's really awesome to see. From I have seen Node.js, right? Likewise, I was saying I have seen Node.js, Python working in that way, and it's now in ABAP. So next point is like we are almost there. We have to conclude. We have so many questions again. I think maybe we can sit again for next sessions, diving deep into this kinds of technological talks
Yeah,
again.
I can't see the questions. I'm not sure if I should be able to see them somewhere, but oh, maybe the YouTube link, right?
Mhm. I think in the point of in interest of time, can we
Yeah, yeah.
do have to discuss about one or two points again? Okay, so the first thing is like what are all the skills? Say like I work for 5 years, 6 years in a app, right? So how I can change my pace to Node.js, or what are all the points? How you want to guide with you want to guide to the community what we have.
Well, I think that you need, if you haven't learned Node.js already, I think you need to learn Node.js because it is one of the technologies that SAP is going to use in the future. We've seen CAP, and I think CAP, it's personally, I think it's going to be huge. I don't know about you, but I feel like CAP it's going to be huge, and the next thing that everybody needs to learn. So if you haven't already, get into Node.js. Um, Transitioning from ABAP to Node.js can be tricky because it's very different in a lot of things. It's very different, but at the same time, not as much as one would think. This is an example. You can see that something like having npm on ABAP, uh, telling this to somebody that has never seen the project is going to be like, there's no way you can do that. It just doesn't work. But this is just an example of how it's not as different as you would think. So the transition it's not as scary as you would think. Let's just put it this way. It's going to be different. I'm not saying it's the same thing. It's very different. But at the end of the day, if you're a computer programmer, I don't think you're going to have a lot of trouble learning Node.js.
Yes, yes. So, like say you were also mentioning about the NPM packages and all, right? So,
Yeah.
people do need to shift. What I think is like people do need to shift in CAPM along with RAP or whatever the ABAP programming languages or traditional ABAP, whatever people used to code, they have to make a shift. And how do you think that like it's like the Git, right? So Git definitely a person who is new to Git, they find it hard. So any comments on that? How they can take it up?
The question is about Git.
Yeah, yeah, Git
Well,
managing stuffs and
it's,
all. Yeah,
yeah. Again,
it's again different. Yeah.
it's something that we're probably not used to with ABAP.
Hmm.
And I think that ABAP Git in this sense makes it super easy. And I think if you haven't seen Git already, ABAP Git it's the perfect starting point for getting to it, to know it. Being an ABAP developer. So it's Git is super important in my opinion. It's if you're used to other languages, you know how important it is. But I think that it's also important in ABAP. So I wouldn't start a project without Git. It's it's just we tried it in our company and it works great. It gets the job done. So start learning about branching strategies. It's good. There's not much room for ABAP in branching strategies because ABAP it's everything on one system. So there's not much room for learning branching strategy. But I just showed you one. If you're just one developer on a system, you can do what I just did. It's the project itself that I just demonstrated. It's public, so you can see it yourself. Get to know Git. That's all. That's all I have to say. It's the starting point for CI/CD.
Yeah. True, true, so true, so true. And especially whenever a person coded in ABAP, they find everything in transports and coming out of that mind, it's like very difficult that how I move the my code to one server to this server. So this entire TRM, whatever the demo, what you have shown, it's really great. It's really awesome. I think, have you done any podcast about this or any video before this?
No, not yet. This is the first one.
Oh, we are
Yeah,
so lucky to have you here in that
how
case.
lucky.
Yeah, yeah. So, Simon, and another thing is like, say, after this, so can we discuss about your upcoming projects or upcoming topics, whatever you are keen to work with or work in?
Well, nothing open source. I mean, right now I'm obviously this is the alpha phase of this project, so it's going to be a lot of testing, internal testings, and whatnot to make it into beta phase. Personally, myself, I'm starting to learn CAP. That's what I'm doing outside of TRM and any other stuff that I have at my job, and that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Nothing new.
Great to hear about that. So we discussed about TRM, we discussed about all the component blocks. We also discussed about how an ABAPer or ECP guys have to move, do a shift, or they need to do a shift, right? So the space is like open. So ECP has been conservative for long years, and for past 4 to 5 years or 6 years, whenever the cloud boom came into play, so everything has to be open sourced, and through open source, we have seen the vision is like people, somebody from Italy, right? Like you have coded in such thing that we can consume it, we can track it, we can use it in our day-to-day lives. So I think we almost there. So my last question to you is like, how okay, so I think some person also have a question here. So, do you want to take
Yeah.
it up? So, a person, Vishava. I am sorry that I do not pronounce your name correctly, but cap is better or rap? Uh, so you can comment on that. Do you want to comment on that? Cap and rap.
Cap, Cap and rep. Yeah, I've seen both of them, but my personal take is I prefer cap, and I don't see why rep. But that's my personal take, and
Okay.
it's my personal idea because again, I prefer Node.js because of the flexibility that Node.js has. But if I understand that if your background it's fully ABAP, you still need time to convert. So I
Hmm.
understand. But cap, in my opinion, it's going to be the future of SAP.
Definitely, definitely. We do see lots of, I think, in last decade, wherever I go, whoever I talk with, everybody was talking about rap and cap all together, right? But the craziness is in cap is actually coming up, right? So
Yeah,
people are it is gaining popularity due to open sources. People from outside JavaScript or Python background, they are coming up and they can pick up any SAP projects. And
yeah,
the most important thing is like cap and rap. I think both have to go side by side. There are huge stakeholders are there who still rely on ABAP. Okay, so we cannot convert them to
yeah,
cap in a single day. It has to be
yeah.
a
But it's
transition.
like
It has
it's
to
like
be.
saying you cannot expect everybody to go cloud like in the next year or so. So
Yeah, yeah. And I think he also okay, wrap interaction with S4 is easy or cap. So some person asked, means same person asked actually wrap interaction with S4 easy or cap, means how S4 interaction is easy. I think cap and wrap both are sufficient enough to talk to S4, but on S4 directly you can build wrap, and cap also you can build it on cloud, I guess. I think we can take up this thing later as we are debating from the topic of TRM. Anyways, thank you for asking. And the next thing is like the audience takeaways, whatever we discussed, what TRM is in any single liner or any conclusive statement you want to give, Simon?
well, the last thing I can say is it's an open source project. So if you want to get into open source, there's I showed you four open source projects right now. So I showed you TRM, ABAP A dash, and ABAP Lint or Git. I don't know what I said before. Um,
Yeah.
but if you want to get into open source, you can try and see. TRM is mostly Node.js, so maybe you're not as familiar as you are with ABAP. But if you want a starting point with Node.js, you can check out the TRM core package on GitHub, and maybe you can find something familiar with ABAP.
Yeah, maybe we also I personally also can comment whatever the packages or whatever the resources or whatever the Git libraries what TRM have in this comment. Okay, and also
Yeah,
we
or
can
if you go to the
share,
website. On the
yeah,
website,
website also. Yeah.
there's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really liked again I'm just not bragging. I really like that image that that conveyor belt is actually moving your code. A person is
Yeah,
coding and the conveyor belt is it's a really awesome picture over there.
that's a good idea. I
Yeah,
think it shows what it does to somebody without even looking at the blog post.
yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Simon. Thanks for your time. It was really great to talk to you again. Okay.
Sure, my pleasure.
And I think community also learned a lot from you, and obviously they are more interactive in this transition. You have also commented on that how we can take up small things and in Node.js and as well as Wrap both can work parallel, and you have given the exact project as well how to start working on that. Thanks a lot, Simon. Thanks for your time again.
No
So
problem.
thank you. Talk to you later. Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Talk to you.
Bye bye.